A quick one before our live stream starts. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, we go live there every day trading the markets, covering world news, and talking through setups in real time. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next session.
Still doom scrolling? Brain rot taking over? You'll focus tomorrow, right? But what if tomorrow never comes? What if it all started with one small choice? The world won't wait for you. Opportunity is moving right now. One decision is all it takes to shift your momentum. Fuel your mind and watch possibilities open up. Small wins stack up, focus sharpens, growth begins. Everything changes the moment you focus. Lock in and make the switch today. Bring your ambition into focus. Trade with Switch Markets.
Are you still trading everything manually? More traders are moving to automation, running strategies 24/7, removing emotion, and staying consistent. Now with Switch Markets, you've got the tools to build and run your own automated trading systems, so your strategy delivers even when you're asleep.
Meet Switch Markets, a broker for ambitious people who want to trade the financial markets.
You mean that I can trade things like Forex, stocks, even gold with you?
Yes, you can even trade the coffee bean market with us.
What about digital currencies? Can I trade them too?
Absolutely. Maybe now's your time to get in.
Oh, and are you regulated?
Yes, we are.
And how easy is it to deposit and withdraw? Will you charge me any fees?
It's easy. Deposit and withdraw instantly. Nice and simple. And unlike that guy, we won't grab any fees from you.
Do you have a low spread trading account?
We certainly do. Pick from our zero commission or our low spreads account. It's up to you.
Okay then, what makes you so different from every other broker out there?
Our 5-star rated real human customer support and our perks package worth thousands. No other broker can beat it.
So, who did you say you were again?
Switch to success. Trade with Switch Markets.
Getting started in trading shouldn't be complicated. You can open an account, get set up, and be ready to go pretty quickly. Now, if you've been thinking about it, take a look. Click the link in the description below. You can even start with a free demo account.
In trading, like climbing, the hardest step is to pause, hold, and trust your position. Ambition pulls you forward. Focus keeps you steady. Together, they take you higher. Bring your ambition into focus. Switch Markets.
Already trading with another broker? Fair enough. But if you haven't looked around lately, you might be missing out. Now, Switch Markets is picking up awards, offering tools most brokers don't, and their support actually shows up. It might be time for you to switch to Switch Markets. Click the link in the description below to get started today.
Discipline starts before the first punch is thrown. Focus sharpens in silence. Repetition builds control. Every movement prepares you for the fight ahead. Trading isn't luck. It's preparation. It's grit. Your fight is won long before the bell even rings. Champions trade with Switch Markets. It's time to bring your ambition into focus.
Are you still with the same broker? Now, there are better options out there. There's more tools, better support, and a platform built for traders. It's time that you demand more from your broker. Take a look at Switch Markets. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Trading Room. I'm Shane Vernier, and this is the U.S. Mid-Session Brief. Today, we're going to take a good look at the plunge that's going on in big tech. The U.S. 100 is under some serious pressure as the microchip sector continues to melt down. We're going to look at some cryptocurrencies. We haven't looked at crypto in a while. Crypto is really a challenging space right now, and there is a lot of bearish energy in these markets. We're definitely going to be taking a look at some crypto, some Bitcoin, some Ether, maybe even some Shiba Inu. I really wanted to buy that thing at 5, and now we're trending beneath 5, and I think it was a good call to not dive in with 2 fists of money. We definitely don't want to make any big mistakes, at least not on something like a Shiba. I'd much rather make the mistakes on SpaceX. But SpaceX, big trading day. We're seeing some good signs for the bulls. The bidders stepped in and defended 150 with a vengeance. We're going to go ahead and recap that. They're already talking about rumors that what's Musk's end game to merge SpaceX with Tesla. It's like they've been watching our live streams. We talked about that 2 weeks ago when this thing launched, or a week ago. So a lot going on today. Really a big news day in a lot of ways. Key events happening in Lebanon as we speak, and that is really a big part of that MOU agreement and getting the Strait of Hormuz open. So we are going to cover it all. I'll take any and all questions that you guys may have. So it's good to see everybody out there in the trading room, out there in the YouTube live chat. Kelvin, good to see you, Kelvin. Jason Max and Taco Tuesday. Trump always chickens out. Is Trump going to chicken out again today? We're going to find out. Tina Jin, good to see you. Tina, welcome. Let's see, Ralph H. Always good to see Ralph H. Tuku, Bobby Bob, Andrea Garwal. Good to see everybody. The crew over in the howtotrade.com trading room. Remember, if you want a free account over there, just go open one, and you can reach out and send me a private message. Tell me what you think of the streams. If you have any questions at all, be sure to ask. I'll do my best to help you. All right, let's go ahead and start off let's go ahead and just talk 9 EMA just a second. We're not going to spend much time on this because we do it a lot. But this 9 EMA trading strategy, if you're interested in getting this strategy, you just go on over to switchmarkets.com. You can run a quick search for 9 EMA, and you'll go ahead and get this link here. And we've got a complete strategy pack for you. We've got a custom EA, and we can really help you get up and running with this strategy in just a few minutes, realistically. Now, there's more to it than, of course, just plug and play. We're not signal providers. It's not a black box. There is a little bit of nuance involved, but the biggest challenges that you're going to have with something like the 9 EMA is just trading it on the right market at the right time. You can see there were some very good trades today on this 9 EMA 5-minute chart, intraday action. All right, intraday action. What do you have right there? You've got SpaceX stock. Remember, if you want to trade SpaceX, the CFD, it's spcx.us over at Switch Markets, and you got a nice, beautiful buy signal that came across the board earlier today. Fantastic bid. Essentially, what these signals are, I use the word signal carefully because remember, we're not signal providers, but what essentially this is an opportunity to buy the market because it was an oversold territory beneath 30 on the RSI, and then we broke above that 9 EMA, and now we're going. So this is one of those trades that I think was just absolutely fantastic. The bidder stepped in and defended SpaceX from 150. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. And then you can see U.S. Tech. I mean, the heat is on. It's an old Glenn Fry song, but the heat is on. And the microchip sector really is melting down. We'll take a look at a few of those stocks. Maybe remind me a little bit later on. We'll look at like Palantir. We'll look at potentially NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the big one as far as chip makers go. Palantir is just sort of a big data, but often reacts in correlation with those chip makers. So we've got to watch that one as well. So those are the 5-minute charts for SpaceX and U.S. Tech. Pretty good trades. Pretty good trades with that 9 EMA. So if you're interested in maybe approaching your trading using maybe this strategy, feel free to just hit the link that I put out there in the YouTube chat, or head on over to Switch Markets and just run a couple of quick tests, and you should be up and rolling relatively quickly. That's for sure. All right, let me see, Tina. How the Euro USD and the Great Britain USD both had a big sell-off. Yeah, I mean, we've got movers. The pound is off. About about 0.5%. The big move today, and we talked about it in the video that came out on our Switch Markets YouTube channel. I put out the market analytics from yesterday. The big mover and the shaker, and realistically, the player right now is the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar index is printing 101.41, somewhere right in that zone. And if you remember sort of our macro technicals, I can go ahead and just light the chart up for you here, but our macro technicals are very, very serious about that 101.15 level. That was a level that we sort of predicted. We said this has been a big one. This area right here, this monthly 38% retracement is just, it's a monster. And, there's all different ways to trade. We just showed you the 9 EMA cross, right? Or the 9 EMA strategy with RSI confirmation. 920 crossover is beautiful. We've got some really good stuff on the 920 that has developed here in the last several days. When it comes to horizontal support and resistance levels, like what I like to do with Fibonacci retracements, 38% is big. Now, the biggest challenge you have with Fibonacci's is finding the correct range to use. The range, you'll see, well, Shane, it's just sort of arbitrary. And I go, it's not arbitrary. That's the spike high right there. That's when they inaugurated Trump. That's January of 2025. That's January 2025's highs, all the way down to this year's January 2026's lows, this year's lows. And since then, we've really starting to break to the bull. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack here, and a lot of it has to do with the new Fed chief, Kevin Warsh. We believe that we're going to see some definitive action from the Fed. Not him hawing around, not Jay Powell showing up to the meeting and saying absolutely nothing for an hour. I mean, do you remember those last few meetings, those FOMC meetings where we were covered Jay Powell live, and I was just sitting here going, oh my God, would you say something of meaning? Say something, Jay. You're putting us to sleep. Well, Jay's gone. Jerome Powell's gone. Now you've got Kevin Warsh. Warsh said a lot last week. He said, listen, we're going to be pragmatic. He was transactional with what he was talking about. We're going to score some points by the end of the year. We're going to talk about how to rein in inflation. We're committed to pricing stability. And when I heard that, it really was music to my ears. I said, okay, you're saying the right things, Kevin. Can you deliver? And that's what we're going to find out here in short order. But right now, Tina, that's the game. Resistance level in the DXY gone. Now, remember, the DXY is just a reflection of how the USD is really performing against the majors. So we sit around and go, okay, the DXY is moving, so the majors are going to move. No, the majors move, and that's what makes the DXY move. It's all a derivative, really a derivative product of the U.S. dollar. So what's happening right now? Dollar up. Dollar up. How far is the dollar up? The dollar just broke into some serious territory here. I'm looking at 102.88. I think that it stays strong for a while. This is a big-time level, 101.50, somewhere in that zone. If we get some short-term compression here the next day or two and then maybe fall back beneath that threshold, potentially we could get in on some of these moves later in the week. But I have to tell you right now, I wouldn't fight. I don't like fighting trends. I don't like fighting trends in the Forex. It is really hard. The dollar is trending right now. So Great Britain pound USD, the move. Fantastic look at our 920 EMA crossover on a 4-hour chart. I actually was going messaging a trader earlier today and yesterday about, Shane, what time frames do you really like? And we're going to talk about the U.S. oil time frames, and potentially I'll show you how I look to trade those, that type of commodity during the U.S. session using, say, a 30-minute chart and then going down to a 1 minute to execute the trades. But something like this for a Forex play, Great Britain pound USD, 4-hour chart, I mean, that's tough to beat. It really is tough to beat. Gold is another good one for your 4-hour chart. So 4-hour time frame using the 920 EMA crossover strategy is very good. It's one of my bread and butter plays. I really like the 4-hour because when we're talking about 24-hour markets, not everything's a 24-hour market. Just because you can trade WTI crude oil pretty much 24 hours a day doesn't mean you should be, because the volume comes in at certain times, and when that volume comes in, price action goes crazy. You reestablish a more meaningful range at that point. Forex is different. Forex is different. You really are looking at these pairs going, well, should I be trading 24 hours a day? And I'd say probably not on short time frames, but on a 4-hour time frame, yeah. Now, why wouldn't I be trading something like an oil or maybe stocks using a 4-hour time frame? I'm not saying that you can't. The problem you're going to run into is some of the bars are going to be really big and some are going to be really small, right? Well, why is that? It's because you're going to be focused maybe on those U.S. session is really going to bring a lot of the action into your stock indices, and that, to me, skews the entire strategy. It really does. So for me, I wouldn't be trading 4-hour blocks of time talking about stocks or talking about crude oil, but potentially gold. Gold's a 24-hour product. These Forex pairs, these are 24-hour products. So that's what I would be looking at. Great Britain pound USD, though, absolutely fantastic move. You can see that one came across the board on the 17th of June, which was right before the Juneteenth holiday. And since then, it's been very bearish. Very bearish. As far as the Euro USD goes, much the same, right? Much the same, but a better move, but an even better move. So we've got these big bearish moves, and those are over. What do we do now? Well, we go to our macro technicals, and we'll see if we can find some support zones for the Euro USD and the Great Britain pound, maybe using some Fibonacci's, maybe using some moving averages. What could we really be thinking about, though, for a strategy? We looked at the Great Britain pound USD on our weekly hot picks. I was looking for a crossover on that 920. I wanted to see this crossover because we were very tight when the video was shot right in here. I was thinking, okay, we get a bullish bounce, then we'll get the crossover, then the pound will make a bit of a recovery. Pretty good trade. Hasn't happened yet. Doesn't mean that it won't, but I'm not even considering taking a long here until we at least get a crossover or maybe a test of some big, robust downside support. So we're going to go ahead. We'll have those on our hot burner as well and see if we can spot a level potentially where we can get in there to the long. So let me see. Gordon Williams, going to see it. Gordon, look at the 5-minute chart. A 5-minute chart for, let me see, which market? Let me see. Bobby Bob, we're checking on the Great Britain pound, Japanese yen. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do that. Dial that one up. I know that we had just a fantastic move on that 4 hour, and you can see what we have here. Okay, there was a pretty darn good move. There's your 4. Now look at this. Crossed over right there, and now you got the big sell signal. This is a textbook example of what happens when the market flattens out, and you've got a real situation developing here where this buy signal's gone. Now you got to be playing the sell. I mean, we wiped that out relatively quickly. You probably are going to be playing the sell here. A lot of reasons for that. Great Britain pound, not really looking real great against the majors, is it? Why? Changing leadership. Starmer out. New head in, right? What does that have any impact on the Great Britain pound? Maybe, maybe not. It's more about the BOE and what they're going to do. But right now, just looking at this strategy, I probably would be short. The beauty of this is, though, we've got a lot of different ways. We have many ways to skin a cat. So if we want to do this, I would definitely want to be seeing some Fibonacci's, potentially retracement sequences. So what do we have right here on our monthly? We got a bullish pennant. It's not a pennant. It's a flag, excuse me. But it's more of a just an absolute compression zone between about 216.50 and 210. So when we're looking at price action, we're saying, okay, what does all this mean? That's a daily chart. Bollinger Bands, not open. This is an open Bollinger Band. We'd be looking to play the trends in a situation like this. Right now, really quiet it down. So I'd be playing rotation. I'd say that this market's sort of in a flat spin. It means that it's not really going anywhere, and it's sort of bouncing off the lower Bollinger Band, bouncing off the upper Bollinger Band. The market's getting extremely tight in this Great Britain pound Japanese yen. So for me, I would be playing rotation. And rotation would be something as simple as potentially looking to sell right up there, right around 215, maybe 215 and a quarter, 215.17, somewhere right in there, potentially taking that short. And then your bid, maybe you want to bid 212.93. Looks pretty good. I mean, it really does look pretty good. What's today's low? You can see there's an incredible demand zone developed right beneath that 213 threshold. So 213, big deal to the downside. If a breakout to the bear does develop, it's going to be right from this zone. So let's just mark 213 on our maps here, or on our charts, on our maps, our treasure map, right? Charts or treasure maps? No, right there. You can see 213 and the importance of that number. For me, I probably would be waiting for a dip beneath 213 and maybe bidding. The only thing that I will say, and I will give a little bit of caution here with regards to the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen's getting hit right now. And we're seeing some signs that potentially the BOJ will get involved and intervene in the Forex markets. If they do that, be ready for big moves out of the Japanese yen that just sort of come out of nowhere. So if you're trading these yen pairs, and we're going to look at the dollar yen here in just a little bit, but if you're trading these yen pairs, you've got to be careful because the yen could go crazy because the BOJ is going to step in at some point. They don't want to see the yen lose too much value. We've got to wait and see what the headlines are. I mean, the BOJ just raised interest rates and was worried about inflation. Inflation from the oil shortage from the Middle East, right? That was the big deal. Well, Strait of Hormuz may or may not be opening back up. What's the BOJ going to do? Are they going to intervene? I mean, you want the Japanese yen probably to be a little bit stronger than it is, I would think. But we just got to wait and see. Everybody else wants to cut rates, right? And the Japanese yen, they're raising rates. It's crazy stuff. Let me see, Kelvin, what do you think about SPCX? Yeah, we've got a couple of trade updates we need to talk about. I'm impressed with the bidding from 150. It looked to me like we were going to get a big washout today, but we didn't quite get it. So I'll go over SPCX here in a minute. Let me see, Ashna. Good to see Ashna. Sir, please use Lux Algo indicator how to work. I'm not familiar with the Lux Algo indicator. I'm sorry, Ashnav Gaming. I would have to really look into it and study it deeply. I don't really know much about the Lux Algo indicator. I would have to look, though. All right, let's go ahead and run through some trade updates and see exactly where we are. Let's see, U.S. oil plunges, and this is sort of where we're at here with a serious level. I covered this a lot yesterday. We're not going to spend much time on it, but that's your opening war gap. Opening war gap ranges from about 67.83 to a 69.20. So a pretty darn good little gap down there. We've got an opportunity potentially to target it. I love 69. So that's 69 area, maybe 69.09. Could be a fantastic bid, and we've had that one out for about a week, a little bit more than a week. But you can see the market's really trending down. Traded beneath last week's low, caught a few bids. But at this moment, I mean, it sort of looks like WTI crude is sort of set to maybe go lower. Let's go ahead and take a look at our top stories from the Iran war. Trump says the U.S. naval blockade of Hormuz removed after talks. Strait of Hormuz traffic steadily increases amid conflicting reports over Iran nuclear monitoring. Let's see, disagreement over nuclear inspections. Pentagon asked Congress, dispute over nuclear inspections clouds U.S.-Iran teams to work a finalized deal. The big thing that I would say about all this is there's sort of a poison pill in that MOU document that we covered, and that was going to be Lebanon and the Israeli intervention in Lebanon. Whatever you think about anything, we got to check the politics aside, and as traders have to evaluate what is happening in this world right now. The MOU that we went over, the Memorandum of Understanding between Iran and the United States, outlined 14 points. We covered those 14 points last Friday. I read through them. We hit some of the high points. A complete and total ceasefire and end to hostilities, at least for 60 days, is what was point number one. From the Iranian point of view, that included Lebanon. It meant strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon would be seen as hostilities, and there would be no deal. Well, you can see this is 4 hours ago. Denounced treacherous attack, blatant violation of the truce. Israel fears Trump is strengthening Iran's hand. 2 dead after Israeli soldiers opened fire in southern Lebanon. So Israel's been active in that region. It's no secret. They've been bombing, they've been bombing the area pretty much every day last week. And it looks to me like while the bombings may have stopped, you still have kinetic exchanges every day, every single day. So the question really becomes, can you have a memorandum of understanding or a peace deal with what's going on in Lebanon? And we don't know yet. Now, the Iranians have been outspoken on the issue. They've said, listen, if you keep shooting in Lebanon, there's not going to be a deal. Well, right now, looking at the markets, talk's one thing. Talk's cheap. The markets right now believe that that Strait of Hormuz is going to be open and potentially running at a legitimate capacity. Right now, the capacity is low. You're only talking about, 30 boats a day, something like that. And a lot of that has to do with the insurance underwriters have to get their ducks in a row, and then it's a process to vet the ships and let them through the strait. So there's a lot going on here. But it all points towards bearish crude oil pricing. As soon as the strait's back open at full strength, this market's going right back down to where it was before the war. Now, that's a pretty welcome thing, a good thing, because a lot of people in the United States are looking at the petroleum reserve. We're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow with our Switch Markets Live webinar. But the SPR is very low, lowest since, I believe, 82 or 83. So if the strait doesn't reopen and the global crude oil stocks continue to drop, there's a big problem. But right now, the markets, the powers that be, the guys, the smartest people in the room, the smartest ladies and gentlemen in the room, they believe crude oil's there. They believe the war's pretty much over for right now. They like crude oil. I like crude oil to go right down there. To me, unless we see a big flare-up in attacks or maybe an end to the MOU and the ceasefire, you're probably going to see WTI crude run down there and have a look at that 68, 78 level. I would almost be willing to bank on it. Significantly. So we'll see. If we get a test of that zone, our trade idea will come into play, and that's sort of what I'm waiting for. Okay, we got another trade idea out today. NASDAQ 100 under pressure, right? Big time selling hitting the NASDAQ 100 right now. The NAS is just in an absolute free fall today, almost 2.7% down, almost a 3% drop, and the microchip stocks are the ones that are getting absolutely slammed. So trade update, we put this one out a little bit earlier this morning. The NASDAQ 100 under pressure amid the microchip rout. Pretty dramatic, huh? Thank you. I wrote it myself. The microchip rout. I don't know what kind of mood I was in this morning. I had too much coffee or something. But you can see basically the idea is very simple. This one, we're not trying to move mountains. We're not trying to be very, very smart. We really aren't. We're not going to sit around and pretend that we're, what would you say, nuclear physicists? I guess nuclear physicists are in the news a lot now. We're not trying to figure out the riddles of the universe. All we want to do is get a good trade from a good trade location. And that's where we just sort of put our thinking caps on and say, okay, what's a good level? 30,000. 30,000 has been a hot level of debate. You can see right here, we started trading 30,000 back here. We're going to ignore that. We're just going to talk about the 15th of June. Traded down right there, nice big move. Came right back down to 30. Sort of had sort of a heavier set doji, or a fat doji, if you want to call it that, right around 30. Then you had a nice big break, and then you came back down. What's the low right there on the 19th of June? Low right there, 30,064, yeah? Okay, and then you're looking at Sunday's open. Sunday's open, the low is what, 30,014, and then we got the big break today that wiped out that 30 level. So for me, relatively straightforward that we're going to go ahead. I guess I could put my chart on. You see right there, big rally, sell off, sort of a fat doji, break to the top side, pulled back to support, and then you got the big break today beneath the 30,000 level. So in my view, you're really looking to sell. You're really looking to sell. But do I want to sell from 29.5s? No, not really. I don't want to sell the end of a trading day. I don't want to sell the bottom because the NASDAQ's been very bullish. I mean, it really has been. It's been just an absolute bulls on parade. You know, the old Rage Against the Machine song, Bulls on Parade. I mean, every single dip, it's been bid, and it's been bid, and it's been bid. So I'm not really too excited about taking shorts, but this is a pretty good level where we could see maybe some price action like this, but instead of support, it being resistance. That's exactly what we're looking at. So we're looking to sell right beneath that level to, I believe it was 29,975, something like that, right in this zone. And then we'll look for a little bit of a pullback of just a couple hundred points, not much. Could easily get that within a day, within a morning. So we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on that. But I do like this idea here potentially to step up and sell. Just a real short-term position, though. We're not going to marry the position. We're not going to be in there for very long if we can help it. But we can potentially get in there and hit that level as being a significant topside resistance zone, or at least an area of two-way action. So that's the trade idea. We're looking right there at the NAS 100. And, of course, we got to check in on our pet with the goofy Elon Musk face. It's been a roller coaster ride for Mr. Musk. His wealth has fluctuated dramatically over the last week or so, and you can take a look at the charts right here. This was a market that we covered in that Switch On Hot Picks for the week. You can find that over at Switch Markets on YouTube. But you've got that inverted hammer formation that really was about as clean as we've seen a technical setup right around a key level. I mean, it was straddled. Essentially, it really signified the run up to 225 and then the reversal and the close right beneath 200. So that hammer right there is just as clean and as beautiful as you could probably get a chart pattern. Very, very nice. Typically, those inverted hammers themselves are reversal patterns. We traded beneath that, and then we came right off. Now, this right here was a hammer. So when we came off with a big negative day, we sold off, and then we bounced. Part of me was saying, this is a pretty good long entry. It's a hammer, right? Well, it didn't work. I mean, you just came right down and traded beneath it, and market fell back away to 150. I feel really, I won't say proud, but I had a pretty good idea, and we talked about it a lot, that this market had a tremendous probability of going down and testing the 50 level. Now, what I've been saying, and I still sort of stick to it, we'll see exactly how price pans out in the next several sessions, but this area right in here is suspect. It's highly suspect. You've got 149.34, which was sort of your low. Well, your new low now is about 147.11. So the run did develop down to about 147. We're looking for 135s though to the downside. Significant bidding. Today you're up about 6.25%. The bidders were home. They checked 150. The bidders were there. Now, will the bidders continue to defend this level over the coming weeks and months? Well, we really don't know. I have no idea. I think that eventually you're going to see a significant break, probably back down to 135, maybe even 125, maybe even 100. Right now, we don't know what these things are worth. And anytime you don't know what something's worth, key numbers are a big deal. So when I'm sitting here watching price action, I go, 150 is a big deal. I know it's an obvious statement, but it really, truly doesn't have to be as hard as we make it a lot of times. 150. To me, that's still the key linchpin in this market. And you're looking at 130, 163. I still think 135 could definitely come into play again, but we just have to wait. And right now it's a waiting game. They pay us to wait. They don't pay us to trade. So that's definitely what we're looking at there with SpaceX and the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, I mean, everybody's, man, they are just absolutely dumping NVIDIA. Well, let me take a look at NVIDIA. I might be speaking out of turn here, but it feels to me like you're just getting absolutely crushed. NVIDIA stock, you can see right there, daily chart, open gap down. It's not a true gap. Don't get carried away. Usually my eyes would light up seeing a gap that big because they get filled in, but we just traded this price point last week, but you can see very disjointed. We opened topside, then we came back down, and then we broke heavily to the downside, off almost 3% today on just an absolute brutal open. And welcome to stock trading. So NVIDIA getting hit. Let's go ahead and take a look at maybe the monthly technicals and see if we can't find the best entry point for something like a NVIDIA. I think everybody wants to own NVIDIA. You want to be long NVIDIA. I don't really see any way around that. The AI boom. We've got OpenAI. Their IPO is coming up later this year. We've got Anthropic. They're launching an IPO as well. And it all sort of dovetails perfectly into that big tech narrative. So when we're looking at NVIDIA stock, is NVIDIA really going to be left out in the cold with the advent, just the proliferation of the AI arms race? No, it's going to be a player. I think we all know it's going to be a player. So monthly chart, been a bad June for NVIDIA, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad year. It really doesn't. This stock has absolutely exploded to the top side and is a major player. We could talk a little bit about semiconductors and microchips being under fire next year. We're going to start talking a lot more about China, Taiwan towards the end of this year, probably Q3, Q4. 2027 is going to be a big year for the Taiwan situation. A big one. So we're going to talk about that more and more as we move forward, and that's going to have a huge impact on something like a NVIDIA and the entire chip sector. But for me, it's a buy. For me, it's still a buy. I mean, I'm looking at 191s. Would love the back end of this monthly golden zone right down there. Get a little investment play going, maybe 191s. It's pretty good stuff. It really is. Nice big pullback. People buy dips. Smart investors buy dips. You don't want to buy tops and you don't want to sell bottoms. This area right in here, though, this is just a long-term uptrend. Boom, boom, boom. Compression, break. That would be absolutely fantastic. Get a pull back to 191, maybe even 195s would be great. That's what I would be looking at for NVIDIA. I wouldn't get too caught up in the hysteria of the chip meltdown. I don't think chips are going anywhere. Let me see you, Davison. Good to see you, Davison. Welcome. It's going very well on my end. Absolutely happy to be here. We've got a few things to cover, that's for sure, but we definitely are going to dive into some of these questions. We don't really have much in the way of fundamentals. We'll take a little bit of a look at the some S&P global PMIs, but they really just aren't that important. I wrote up a little bit of an article this morning on it and posted it as a trade idea. In our How to Trade trading room, and also on X, Shane V_trader, also on LinkedIn, How to Trade on LinkedIn. So that one's been out there for a few hours. We talk a little bit about the S&P global PMIs, and I'll tell you why it's not a big deal. I also want to illustrate a concept I was asked about earlier today, about what time frames I like to use during the U.S. session. And we'll definitely dive in there and see. I'll show you how I would execute a trade in U.S. oil, WTI crude oil futures, using our market profile, and that should be a pretty good one. I think we got one brewing. I'm just going to take us a few minutes to get that all set up and rolling. We see Davison. What do you think about Bitcoin potentially falling below 60K and continuing to 51K in the next week or few weeks, especially with the dollar gaining strength? Great question, Davison. We'll dive into Bitcoin right now. We'll talk a little crypto. That's for sure. Before we turn the page on SpaceX, T Marina. Good to see you, T. Welcome. Hey, Shane, have you traded SpaceX yet? Nope. No, sir. No, sir. I didn't get in on the sweet gravy that was 135 offers. There was a lot of brokers out there doing it, offering their clients, retail brokers offering their clients 135s on Thursday. 15-day holding period, though. You guys see why there's a 15-day holding period now, right? Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Could you imagine having to hold another week? It's either going to be good for you or bad for you. So let's dive into Bitcoin here. That's for sure, but I haven't traded it yet. I was sort of making a comment to somebody who was in the market that I know that got in there and bought some SpaceX, and I was thinking, I was really watching, 125s, 125-ish. I'm not saying that we're going there. We may not even come close, but boy, this market feels heavy to me. Really feels heavy all of a sudden. It's just the market figuring things out. It's price discovery, trying to figure out where the buyers and the sellers are in this world for SpaceX. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin here. Ralph H., which time frame do you like for trading gold? That's a great question. We're trading spot gold. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart. And if we're trading gold futures, I'm definitely looking at intraday stuff like a 30-minute chart during the U.S. session. Then also go down and do a 5 or a 1 to manage the trades. I'll illustrate this concept in just a second, sort of what I mean. We talked about it at the beginning of the live stream, time frames and things. All right, Bitcoin USD. This is a yearly time frame. Everybody rolls their eyes and go, oh, he's looking at yearlies. You have to. Step back from 10,000 feet. Try to figure out what's going on, because right now in crypto, everybody's scratching their head going, oh no, what's going to happen? So the question is, from Davison, is Bitcoin going to come off beneath 60,000? Well, we've got a big time level. I mean, that's a big time level right there. 62%, 57,500. That's no joke. If that level goes, there's trouble in paradise. And I mean, I'm not laughing. If you're a hodler, if you're holding Bitcoin, I'm not laughing because the market's down. I just, wow, right? I mean, we're looking at something and going, well, this year, 2024 was a huge year. 2025, negative year technically, but you got the big spike in the run up to 125. This year's been horrible. You're off almost 30%, 28%. What happens if we break beneath this 57 level? 38s. 13-month EMA down there at 38.8. 78% at 38.8. The biggest number on the board, and it really will be 50,000. That'll be a huge level. The debate for over Bitcoin will rage at 50,000. There's going to be people in there going, oh, is it a great buy? Is Bitcoin over? The bullish case for Bitcoin is very simple. The U.S. government is involved in Bitcoin. Trump is involved in Bitcoin. They are deregulating the industry, and the U.S. government is holding Bitcoin reserves. That's big. That's institutional adoption, essentially propping the market up. Now, I don't know what retail's doing with Bitcoin. I mean, there is some people holding retail that are trading this thing. As far as a tradable instrument, Bitcoin's extremely tradable. If you were doing so on the cash exchanges or the cash markets, I would be snapping up 57.5, just looking for a bounce, maybe back up to 62. So what was this year's low? This year's low is what? 59.1. So the question is, do we break beneath 60? I think we test the waters beneath 60. Would not shock me if we washed out down to 50. Now, the stronger dollar, yeah, theoretically will hurt crypto because it's a risk asset, right? Now, a lot of people believe Bitcoin's a safe haven and they're going to tell you that it's the next gold or it's the modern gold. Oh, fine, whatever. But what happens to gold when the dollar gets strong? It goes down. So what we're seeing right here is definitely a function of a stronger dollar. So as the dollar strengthens and if it keeps getting stronger and stronger, yeah, crypto's going to get hit. Is Bitcoin a winner or a loser? Bitcoin's probably going to be one of the winners just because it is the entire asset class's premier offering. The rest of it, it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like Ripple, XRP. Those are sort of the big dogs, and then there's just a ton of altcoins. What are altcoins worth in this environment? God only knows, right? 57.5 definitely is going to be your bid if you get a chance to trade that one. Maybe later this week we'll talk about that. 50,000 though would be a great bid. Another long scalp that could be really great. And then this area down here has really got me intrigued. 38.8, somewhere right around 40. That's a big one. Let's take this down to a monthly, and you'll see just sort of how disjointed this market really is. It's disjointed. And when I mean disjointed, it's just really choppy. Really choppy. So what do you have right here from a monthly perspective? You got a real tight area. And that's sort of what we're looking at. If we trade beneath this area, you're going to 50. Swiftly. Going to 50 swiftly. Now that's what I would be looking at. So for me, am I a buyer or seller of Bitcoin right now? I'm neither. I just really difficult 4 months. Now, if you go down to a daily, you want to day trade it. You want to be real tight and trade it in, smaller time frames. Understand what you're getting into. This is ugly. I mean, this is really flat. A lot of overlap between the candles. To me, it's you want to see markets move like this so you can really get in and sink your teeth into a directional move. Now, I mean, it is flat. Could we say it's an L formation? Maybe. Spike high to a spike low. 50%. Really just dirty technicals. I'm not interested. That's for sure. Let's look at the pet rock Shiba. Shiba's in a tailspin. No two ways about it. You're trending further and further south seemingly by the day. Really love this 5 level. This level right here, this 5. And I'm just going to say 5 because it's just so decimalized. I don't even know what that is, 100,000th of a cent or what I have no idea. But this area right in here, this 5 level was big. And, you could see we had several, like a flash crash back on the 18th of May, flash crash, bounced right back up. That's great trading. You went right down the second time, reestablished, and now we're starting to creep lower and lower. And this is one of those things where Shiba, if you like it from here and you buy it, you might be here for a while. But make no mistake, you're fighting a tremendous current. and it is all running south. So weekly chart, I mean, you can see just how bad this really has been. So your lows right around 5, this area right in here, this was key downside support for us. Just a nice demand zone. Bounced, came back down here, bounced. That was a beautiful trade. A little bit of compression, and now we're flatlining and coming off, and it's really difficult. Really, really difficult. So I don't know about crypto right now. I really don't. I think we're gonna have to see something change potentially to get us interested in it again. It's just really flat. Ethereum, if you're trading Ether, you know what should you be focused on? Got a liquidity sweep right there, right? The bids hit the market. What price point was the low? 1385. So this area right around 115, or excuse me, not 115, but 1500. That's big. That's big for Ethereum. So we're trading 1661s now, but you can definitely see that all is not well. Nice big rally. Things were looking pretty good back last August, and then since then it's just really been brutal. Really been brutal. And do you want to buy Ethereum or sell it? I don't know. Where's the bottom at? Who knows? Definitely the bears are involved in the crypto market, though. There's no question about it. Okay, everybody, we did want to look at a few macro technicals. I'll give you my opinion on the Great Britain pound USD. Maybe we'll spot a long-term support zone. Then we'll also look at the dollar yen and the the euro, the dollar euro USD. We'll look at that one as well. And then we'll talk time frames here in just a second, Ralph. Great Britain pound, USD, very simple. We're not going to get too far into the deep, the tall grass, as they say. This is a nice wave right there working off those lows from 2025. Really sort of just an inverse of our US or our dollar index chart. And you can see right now we are trading at an absolutely huge level for this pair. So if you were into the Great Britain pound USD, we sort of already said, I'm not really interested in buying it. Well, I mean, we can justify buying it right now using that 130, let's see, that 132 area is potentially being a demand zone and downside support. So if you wanted to bid from here, I don't hate the idea. Just understand that you are fighting a trend. And anytime a Forex major trends, whether it's the pound, whether it's the euro, the yen, the Swissy, whatever, when it trends, you don't want to fight it. So I would almost be waiting for a little bit of confirmation from this zone. I would let a day or two play out. And you can see the zone's already been hit. Beautiful trade right there. Now the pressure's back on. Do you want to buy it or sell it? You're right at that key zone. We can justify buying it. It's probably better to sell it. But if you sell it, where do you get out at? I mean, it's just hard. This is really difficult. I would wait. I would love to see a sort of a hammer formation similar to that. Maybe sell off and then get a close up above this zone. Maybe tomorrow or the next day. Maybe we can get it to line up with that 920 EMA crossover on the 4-hour. Then maybe we could dial in our trade that way. That would be fantastic. That would be something we could sink our teeth into. It'd be a good trade. Right now, I mean, buy it or sell it. Just manage your risk. I mean, that's about as good as that chart's going to get. Euro USD, this is interesting to me because we did have a real hot level that I wanted to talk a little bit about today, and it's that 38% flag formation, monthly flag. Now, we're looking at longer time frames right now because the markets are moving, and we need to put these moves into context. All right, so what's happening right now for June? You're off about 2.5%. Pretty big bearish move. Is the trend bearish? Maybe a daily trend, maybe an intraday trend. The overall trend, still bullish on the monthly. So nice big move, and we've just been absolutely flatlining for about the last year. Now we're coming into a real key level, 1350, 113.50. To me, that would be worth the risk. So you're not quite fighting the trend just yet. Market isn't quite where we need it to be, but we definitely can dial up our trade and just go ahead and put it where our entry needs to be. So what is our key level? Our key level is 113.54. Even if we were at 113.60, something like that. 54 is the level right on the nose. I would want to be a little bit aggressive because these long-term levels can be pretty too. So maybe 113.62, and you'd be rocking a buy limit order there, and essentially that would be the trade. Not a bad one. Right now we're trading 113.79, so we're definitely in the neighborhood. I would be surprised if we don't challenge that level. And if we do challenge that level, then we're going to have a real chance there to make a legitimate trade, a decent trade. It's really all we can ask. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the U.S. dollar, Japanese yen. This has been a very good one to us. This 162 level, take a lot of pride, absolutely a lot of pride in what's happened in here with the yen. I think we identified the levels perfectly. Big round number 162, 161.95 is 2024's high. right beneath 162, and you can see that daily, I mean, we've been on the ball. That was a nice high right there, 116.80 or 161.81, big pullback right there. And then yesterday we went up and went 161.92, and we pulled back earlier today to a low of about 161.26. So that has been just an absolute target-rich environment for scalping to the short. Is it over? Well, I mean, it's never over till it's over, right? But I will tell you this, long-term technicals, even short-term daily technicals, it's not good. Anytime you see compression right around a key level like this, and I mean anytime, you see something like this, you can still scalp it to the short. Just be ready. Be ready for this thing to finally break to the top side over 162. Would I play the pennant buy? No. You have to respect 162, 161.95 as topside resistance. So if we broke out, say tomorrow, we broke out and closed up in here out of this pennant, could we buy it? I wouldn't buy it this side of 162. It's too risky. However, if we break 162, then pullbacks down from this zone, those could be very lucrative. And that's exactly what we're looking to get accomplished here. I think that's going to be the way forward here, definitely for the yen. Do you want to hold shorts right now? If you're holding shorts, that's fine. Just understand that the pressure is building in this market. Essentially, what you would be doing if you're holding shorts is have your stop out right up above 162, which is going to save your bacon. I mean, as soon as the thing breaks against you, you just get out, and you could be in great position. You may see a big pullback. I mean, the BOJ may step up and get involved and say, hey, listen, the yen is losing too much value against the majors. We're going to go ahead and stoke the fire. We've seen them do it before in the FX markets. We've seen it. I believe it was 2024 they did it, August 2024. Maybe it was last year. I don't know. All the years run together after a while, guys. That's the lesson for today. Don't get old. You live enough years and the days just fly by. The weeks start feeling like days. And that's really, I mean, tomorrow's already Wednesday. We just got here. We just got started this week, right? That right there is the ticket, though. So be watching 162 closely in the dollar yen. That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. Okay, we promised a little bit of multi-time frame analysis here and sort of showing you a little bit out of my playbook, what I like to do intraday style on WTI crude. Gold, Ralph, which time frame do you like trading for gold? It's going to be really similar to what we're doing here. That's for sure. Really, really similar. As far as all different ways to trade, the first thing I would do is just get rid of all my indicators, my long-term stuff. If we're going to go intraday, key levels, of course, we're always going to have mapped out. This would be a pretty good day to be looking at something like this. Our TPO charts, we've hit these a lot. Okay, so what do we have right here? Time price offering. Essentially, it's a market profile. Imagine just turning the volume numbers. You're just turning them on their side. So you have a chance potentially to trade and understand where the volume is with regard to price, not necessarily time. So if you're doing volume here, the volume that's coming into the market is according to time. So these are 30-minute chunks. And then if you're looking at your market profile, this volume's according to price, which price points are getting hit the most. So for right this minute, we sort of had an overnight point of control, which is right up around 73.55. Our intraday, our U.S. point of control is right in there, our 73 level, 73.04. Fantastic zone. The way that I would be looking to trade this right now would be very simple. It would be a bid. We're looking to bid. You'd have a buy limit order right from your point of control, which is right there. So let's go ahead and put that down. We'll put that in the queue. Okay, one contract right in the queue. Switch over to my trading dome. You can see that we are hanging out at 73.06. That's going to be our bid. Our take profit here. Let's just go ahead and shoot for, I don't know. Let's shoot for 7 ticks. That's $70, all right? Not a big trade. Stop loss, we're going to manage this thing in real time. Now, 30-minute chart's my bread and butter. So if I'm trading gold, I'm watching the 30. If I'm trading crude oil, I'm watching the 30. And I'm doing it during the U.S. session. And the reason why is that's where the volume is. Now, for WTI crude, it starts at about 9 a.m. Eastern, which is the traditional NYMEX pit open, okay? So that's when the volume comes into the market every day. Then we roll the cash open, more volume, and then we start dying off typically, just like this chart's showing you. So the way I like to think of my trading day is I just divide it into 30-minute chunks. So if I'm going to trade from 7 a.m. my time or 9 a.m. Eastern to about 2:30 Eastern or 12:30 p.m. my time, I'm looking at about 5.5 hours of premium trading for WTI crude oil. So if I have 5.5 hours of trading, divide that by my 30-minute chart. So what is that going to be? 11 price bars. So all I'm trying to do is figure out which way these price bars are going to move. I've got 11 of them to work with, essentially. Now, of course, during the day, I'm not going to have the full 11. I'm going to have the 11 from yesterday to look at, but that essentially is the idea. So I've got a 30-minute chart. I've got my point of control. That's going to give me my entry point. How am I going to manage this trade? All right, this is a scalp. I'm taking it right down to a 1-minute chart. Right down to a 1 minute. Now, what we're looking to do right here is to manage this trade effectively. Now, I can't do that looking at a 30-minute chart, essentially. I can, but my stop losses are going to be really big. If I'm scalping, and right now we're scalping this point of control, we're scalping this market profile, I'm down on a 1-minute chart. I want to see exactly what's happening to price action right now. I want to see the order flow. I want to see what's going on. Now, a lot of times, you don't even really have to look at the chart. You could look at just the trading dome. But for a time frame, I'm down to a 1 minute, and I'm watching this because I know market's slow this time of day, but when it breaks, I don't want to be in there. So look, right now it's breaking against us. It's going down to 73, slow market. We caught some bids. We haven't really seen this thing go positive for us yet, so I'm not loving it. Do I think that we're on the wrong end of a breakout? Not really, not yet. I don't know that yet. What do you think I'm watching on this 1 minute chart? Aside from us losing money right now, what am I watching? 4, 3, 2, 1. Watching three things. Number one, I'm watching the key level of 73. Number one. We're watching our entry, of course. That's our point of control right up there, right around 73.06. Okay. 73 is big for us. What else am I looking at? I'm looking at this swing low right there. That swing low's down there at 73.02. Okay. What else am I looking at? The third thing, symmetry. I'm looking at symmetry. Green candle good, red candle bad. Well, as long as the red candles aren't extremely, see, we should have got filled right there. In any case, as long as the red candles aren't like this, and we're not really trending, we're still inside the Bollinger Bands, we're just rotating. The bidders stepped up and defended 73 for us. We should be in good shape here. Now, we didn't get filled. And right now, this is where scalpers go crazy. This type of scenario right here can break you down to nothing fast, especially if you're not prepared to just get in here and take a bunch of trades and manage them aggressively. What just happened to us? That thing went up and hit our take profit, and we didn't get filled. So at this point, we're back up. We're knocking on the door. We're at 73.12. We need a 73.13 print, and it's being very, very stubborn. Now, right here is where many traders will just pull the Band-Aid off and say, hey, I just want the money. And that's great. If you can do that, that's great. The problem with doing that is you're probably not going to get filled. There's going to be maximum slippage here. You're going to run into problems. So all of a sudden, maybe our 7-tick winner turns into a 4-tick winner. Is it enough? Does it justify the initial risk? Probably not. But look at what's just happened to us. This is key. Look, we got hit twice. And we're not getting filled. Now, right now, I'm fuming mad at my broker. And I'm monitoring this, and I'm going to say, if this garbage keeps up, I got to find out a different way into the market. But right now, we've already hit our take profit twice. We don't have any money to show for it. What's happening to our trade? Back down to break even. Now what? What if this thing turns against us? Are we really want to take a loss here? If you're scalping, probably the best thing to do is just to get out. Just to get out now. Move it to break even, you'd probably already be out. That's why it's hard, but that's really a good illustration of what I try to do in the markets. I'm looking at a 30-minute chart. We're taking it down to a 1 minute. You could even go to a 30-second or 250-tick chart, whatever you feel comfortable with. For me, I've been working with 1 minute charts for so long that they give me a pretty good feel. We're looking for symmetry. We're looking for market structure. We're also looking to make sure we're not caught up in something really ugly. I mean, if the volume really starts flowing in on a 1 minute basis, I don't care how good your entry point is, you're going to get knocked out, right? So we're always watching the characteristics of the smaller time frames, even though our trade is based on a 30-minute chart. I mean, our entry came right from that market profile. There was our point of control. That was our entry, key level 73. Our profit target is set up there accordingly. We still haven't got it, and this is the type of thing that'll just drive you crazy. Absolutely drive you crazy. That's why not many people make it as scalpers. What do you have to do to really win as a scalper? You got to get good market access. You need to get good fills. So this is a fantastic prima facie example of really how difficult scalping can really be if you don't have the right mindset for it. For me right now, Of course, these are demo dollars. If I had one lot on, I probably wouldn't feel bad about just letting it twist. Don't like giving anything back to the markets, though. But, we're talking about $70, 7 ticks. Was this trade even worth taking? I think so. It's been positive. So we could theoretically sit here and hit that 73.06 level all day long. But you could see, this will test your patience. Come on, get up and get filled. Reward us. Reward us for being patient and disciplined. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, market moves up, we get paid off, everybody's fantastic. The point of control works once again. Talked a lot about psychology this week. A lot about psychology. And that's a pretty good example of, I won't sit here and tell anybody you got to stick these trades out. You just got to be tough and stay in there, because that's not always the case. Sometimes you need to go. Let's say, for instance, that was a Monday morning trade. First trade of the day. Price goes up, hits our profit target twice, and we don't get paid. Is it worth staying in that trade and risking a loss and starting the week out on a bad foot and a negative foot, or maybe taking a small profit and rolling into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? In that situation, I think you take the small profit and you move on. I don't think you even screw with it, because the psychological toll that, oh man, I did everything and my target got hit and I didn't get filled and I took a loss. So we talk about swings a lot. So maybe you take a 7-tick loss on something that moved in your favor 7 ticks. All of a sudden that swings 14 ticks. It's $140. The swings are what really gets you as a trader. The swings are what gets you. Talk about some swings. Think about if you're in SpaceX and you got in at 135 and that thing went to 225 and you're sitting there going, holy cow. I just don't, let's say you put 10 grand in or 20 grand and you're going, man, I just doubled my money in about 2 days work. What do I do now? Your broker or your investment guy is saying, hold it. This is going to be 500 or 1,000 by Christmas, right? Yet that swing just showed that you went up 20,000 and now it came back down and I'm only up 5,000. Those are the swings, and the swings are what gets you in this game. No question. All right, everybody, I've gone on long enough today. I don't know. We could talk manufacturing PMIs if you guys want. No real point to. S&P Global Services PMI, that would be the news event today, 51.3, over 51.1 expected. Global Manufacturing PMI, 55.7, 54.6 expected. Couldn't really mean any less. They're meaningless, but what I will say is anything above 50 is viewed as being a positive month over month. So these are for June. June's numbers came in over 50. So it shows that economic conditions or maybe output out of services and manufacturing are both a little bit better than they were in May. But I wouldn't get too carried away with those numbers. I really wouldn't. I don't really think that they're going to be too big of a deal. Let's put it this way. Nobody's sitting around today going, did you see that S&P Global Services PMI number? Holy cow, that was the driver of all drivers. Nobody's saying that. They're not, believe me, they're not sitting around in Paris. Did you see the S&P PMI? They're not doing that, sipping espressos. It's not happening. It's a gauge and a barometer. And if you work at the S&P Global think tank, I'm not being mean to you. I appreciate your work, but is that kind of metric really driving the markets? No, that's for economics teachers and professors to talk to their classes about. It's not even really for our live streams. I think the trading and the trading psychology is more important. But, rolling on. Let me see. We got a question here. Tina Jing, sorry, asking a question not relevant to trading. What's the band you were wearing? Oh, this one right here. This is an old Fitbit. It's my old Fitbit, and I wear it. I can be an excitable guy. I'll just be honest with you. I can be excitable. And I wear this to monitor my heart rate when I'm trading. I wear it all day. You can see I got the big tan line. I got the tan line on my wrist. I wear it all day. It measures my steps. I try to nail down my calories within probably 200 or 300 calories a day, and try to be relatively disciplined during the trading week as far as food goes. And also, things like pints. Try to lay off the pints during the trading week just because the calories really add up. So I'm always watching my heart rate, my pulse, steps. I like to get at least 10,000 in a day. which is, it's just an arbitrary number, but it's a good baseline. 8 to 10,000, especially if you're in front of a desk and then screens. But yeah, that's what it is. You want to measure your heart rate. My family's at least in the old days, they've had a history of heart problems, and I'm getting up to the age where I got to monitor these things and try to stay in decent shape. And also too much coffee. I find that if I have too much coffee, I can get the racers. I call them the racers, and that's where my pulse is just racing. And when you're trading and you're trying to do something that's mentally taxing and a little bit stressful, you'd like to see your heart rate stay, right around your range. So like I don't really idle very high. I typically my resting heart rate's gonna be somewhere right around 55, something like that, which is pretty calm. And then of course you work out and you elevate it. I always got to blow. I call it blowing the carbon out of my system every day. So you got to get it up over 120 at least for an hour or so. But yeah, it's just a heart rate monitor, step monitor. Let me see. Ahmed, gold trading live class link. Send how? Well, I mean, this is the place, Ahmed. We'll trade some gold. We didn't even cover gold today. It's off about 1.151%. I could certainly do that. I got to tell you, this is the one we're watching. Euro USD. That's fascinating to me. Let's go 920 EMA crossover on gold. Okay, there it is. You can see all these pairs, the majors and gold are all just essentially a reflection of the U.S. dollar trending the last several days. Nice big sell-off there. As far as intraday gold, this time of day is not good to be trading gold, at least gold futures. See, everything's really dried up. Very, very flat market today. That's opening bell ding ding on Wall Street, and then we're just sort of going sideways. So as far as I'm concerned with that, it's just not a premium market in my view right this minute. Let's go ahead and we can roll some Fibonacci's on gold real quick though. Yeah, I mean, there's our support zone. So monthly chart, yeah. It's sort of been the Fibonacci retracement sequence we've been running forever. It seems like it's back November of 2024, all the way to this high right here in January 2026. Pull back right there, 50%, right around 4,075, right in that zone. The top side's interesting to me, 4178. 4178.29 is going to be our 13-month EMA. So if we were serious about maybe intraday trading, that would be your sell. Be an aggressive sell. I don't particularly like it because we've traded it so many times, but that zone right up in there probably would be a decent sell for you. 4178, 13-month EMA. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some help on the daily. Just really tough. It's just really tough. I mean, this was the hot zone we sort of outlined as far as the support zone last week when we covered gold. And there it was. What's today's low? Today's low is right down 4,090. We're talking about 4,100 down to about 4,073. If you took that bid, you crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. That area right down there probably is going to be a big-time level moving forward. If I was interested in being a bidder, I think I would wait for 4,075, maybe 4,077.50. That would be sort of my bid area, and then my sell area would be up there at about 4,178. That's how I would be approaching gold. Gold right now is very hard, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody from trading gold. If you guys are trading gold, go get them. Best of luck to you. The 9 EMA is a good strategy for trading gold. It really is. It's not bad. Let's go ahead and just drop a gold in here. SpaceX down to 161. Losing momentum. Let's see. Where's my gold at? So something like this on a 5-minute, you see we're just dead in the center of that RSI, 70 and 30. I mean, it's just flat. It's absolutely flat. So this would be a challenging day. I would wait for gold to move, get into a state of disequilibrium, and then we can trade it. But it's got to move first. I'm not too interested in doing anything else. Let me see. Tina Jing, wow, 10,000 steps is hard to achieve. No. Try to get a half hour. I have a treadmill here, so I'll get a half hour in the morning. Try to go fasted state cardio, about 30 minutes in the morning, and then eat breakfast, high protein breakfast, and then break. We do our live streams, do a lot of work, and then break for the gym, and then come back, recap the trading day, and shoot videos, maybe do some writing in the evening time, recap the day's action, and then get ready for tomorrow. But 10,000. Probably 45 minutes to walk it, maybe an hour to walk it. brisk walk too. I'm not a runner. Can't run anymore. My hips and knees. My knees are good. My hips not so good. And today's leg day, so we're gonna go ahead and get after it. It'll be no squats, lunges, and deadlifts today. That's for sure. I got to do some deads. I got to get some deads in. I'm feeling skinny. Just kidding. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm just rambling now. I want to thank you for joining me today on this live stream. We had some new faces popping up and some great questions. As far as what we have for the rest of the week tomorrow, the Switch Markets live workshop, trading the 5813 EMA scalping strategy. A lot of people really love the 5813, so we're going to do that. I'm also going to talk a little bit about crude oil, the SPR, and the Strategic Oil Reserve, and where we may be headed, where these markets may be headed. I think we're in for a pretty good trading week today. Not great, but some pretty good trades. The market profile trades for WTI crude, have been really strong. They've been really strong for the past several months, last month. Since price really calmed down, things have been pretty good. So we'll go ahead and wait a little bit longer before we get into the big trades. But that Euro USD trade, I think, is coming our way. So I'm going to be monitoring that closely. And also the NASDAQ, we're looking at 30,000 potentially as being a short-term sell. And we'll just wait and see if they develop. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. If you have any questions at all, be sure to head on over to howtotrade.com. Sign up for your free, and I mean free, subscription. It's going to ask you to subscribe. It's free. Membership's free. Get in the trading room. You click on my picture, send me a private message or reply. I typically send a greeting to everybody that registers and comes in. So if you do get that greeting, reply to it. Ask me anything you like. Give us the opinion on the live streams and really run through whatever you want to run through. That's why we're here. We're here for education and to help everybody get control of their trading career. You got a tiger by the tail. You play the game on your terms. You don't chase the tiger around. You darn sure don't pull on its tail. We can help you stay out of trouble. That's one thing we can do. And remember, if you need a trading outlet, if you need a broker, your broker is the window to the marketplace. It is your partner in the game. Check on Switch Markets. Lots of deposit bonuses. Lots of a reverse KYC program. You can be trading legitimately in 5 minutes. So they've really knocked down a lot of the red tape, and the customer service over there is really strong. They got 24/7 customer service where you can talk to a real person. That's pretty rare these days. That's pretty rare. All right, everybody, you're welcome, Bobby Bob. Absolutely. All right, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for right this minute. You have a fantastic trading session. We'll be back with the 5813 EMA workshop tomorrow. If you have any questions, be sure to reach out at howtotrade.com. And if you need a broker, Switch Markets is the place to be. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Have a fantastic trading session. As always, trade the action well, and we'll talk soon. See you. Traders all over the world are already using Switch Markets. Thousands of traders just like you across multiple markets each and every day. If you haven't joined yet, you can open an account and begin trading in just a few minutes. Click the link in the description.
What am I doing? I told myself this year was going to be different. So many things I want to achieve, yet I'm here wasting my time doom scrolling. I was going to start running again. I was going to make more of an effort with my friends. I was going to work on my confidence. I was going to get fit again. I was going to start trading. Time to wake up and stop making excuses. Okay, Switch Markets, let's do this. When you're ready to trade, Switch Markets is waiting for you.